Okay, guess who's back? Guess who's back?
I did it. And I did it.
Back
I
again.
did it. Yeah, I did it.
Yes, who's back?
Okay, here we go. I mean,
Okay, we are coming off a high, our highest ever like amount on our last stream, which led to me having to do what the poll says, which is buying a Commander's jersey. I promise you, we'll make a video, we'll make content that you guys can see. Um,
mhm.
I'm gonna try and hopefully wait until those red and black and white ones are all available. But I'm gonna do it for you guys. I'm gonna do it. Huge love for you guys liking the stream, hanging out with us, building this community. I mean, we really only started this channel about a month ago, and it's crazy that we are closing on 300 subs in almost 1 month's time. It's you can just see people are really, really loving the Dynasty content, which is really, really cool to be a part of.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat here. Kenny is saying, if I'm with you guys from the ground up, no way I can get you to eat dog food on the come up.
I love that.
Bruh, that's
I
so
love that.
funny.
He just wants you to make some more money, you know?
Yeah, honestly.
So right now the chat, I don't imagine we hit 50 likes on this rookie mock, but I could be wrong. But Aki either has to bet $100 on the Rams or eat dog food. So
I feel like I want to bet $100 on the Bengals, but either way.
maybe we'll make that the next video if this one doesn't hit 50. All right, guys. So this is a Dynasty rookie only mock. Okay, so you're definitely going to be drafting based off of talent, team needs, where you think these landing spots could go. Just so everyone's aware, while we do these mocks, we might pause the draft every now and again because it might go too fast, and we just want to make sure that we give our thoughts and opinions on all the picks that are made because a lot of people have questions about these picks and these rookies. So we want to make sure and give our opinions there for you guys. If you want to join us, super easy. There is a link that is pinned in the comments of the chat, and it's a link to join our Discord. There's no paywall. You don't have to pay nothing. It's just a community that you can be a part of. And there's links that are sent there to join our mock drafts that we do a bunch. We do a bunch on the redraft on the Dynasty channel every week, and good little community over there. But let's not waste any time, I guess.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. Let's do it. I think if you guys want to join
You have the
this
link, by
mock
the way,
draft,
Badaki.
yeah, if you guys want to join this mock draft and any mock draft, make sure you join our Discord. Kind of like what Zach said, it's super simple, super easy. Go to the Dynasty Damn It tab, and then there's 4 different tabs there that says Dynasty Mock Drafts. That's where we drop the link. I know it's a little bit delayed, so we'll give people some time to get there. If you have any questions about anything, please let us know as well. Patreon.com/FantasylandFam. If you guys want to play fantasy football with Zach and myself, we do have a Patreon
or redraft. Yeah.
Dynasty or redraft. We do have a couple leagues, couple options where you can. We have a bunch of people that are already signed up that were from last year, and a couple of people already on the waiting list for the 2022 season. So if you have any questions, it comes with extra content. You know, you get our Dynasty rankings, you get all of our breakdown profiles of these players. So yeah, let us know how you feel. What are you thinking? If you have any questions, it'd be really great if you guys can support the show. If not, just to show some love, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna drop the link right here.
Let's do it.
In the chat. 3, 2, 1. It should be live there. I think last time it took a little bit for the rookies to pop on because I know some people
I think it filled pretty quickly. If I'm
I
not
know.
mistaken.
I mean, Garrett with the bot, and there's no doubt about it.
Garrett actually has a bot that
my
just
guy was the
enters mocks
first
for
one
him.
in. He was just like, oh,
Yeah. He actually does have a bot that just lets him into the mocks automatically. All right, Jackson here, Juxter's in here, Garrett's in here,
Tebow,
Mantha's in here. We just mocked with some of these guys. Tebow's here. We have 4 spots remaining. 4 spots remaining, guys. Now
That's
we have
his TV.
3 spots remaining. So she is filling up real quick now.
If you guys don't know all the rookies, it's okay.
We'll talk about it as we go.
Yeah, we'll talk about it as we go. We're hopefully to be releasing as many draft profiles for almost all of these guys. I know we have Brees out, Trey Lon. I think Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave could be out as well. We have Trey McBride out. We recorded Jerome Ford. We recorded David Bell.
Well, also on that, we have a mock draft that you and I did, a rookie mock draft, where it's back and forth. It's I was the odds, you were the evens, and that's on our page. We're going to release round 3 tonight. Round 1 and 2 are already out on the page. So, if you want to hear all of our thoughts in depth, we will do multiple versions of that for you guys, and it will continually change. But yeah, you're going to have enough content to keep you going for sure on the channel.
Yeah. Hopefully we get these guys all filled up.
Can't find Spencer Rattler. Yeah, Rattler, he is still
he's
in
going back for
college.
another year. Yeah, he's going to go back for another year. He was, I think, projected to come into this one.
He was, but he didn't. Yeah.
He got benched. We only 2 more spots now.
Yep.
Well,
he got benched for Caleb, and then now he transferred to South Carolina. But I think he could have a real revival moment, like in South Carolina. He's still a talented guy. He was just a really annoying person. Like that's probably rude to say, but way too cocky. So maybe this is the best thing that's ever happened to him, and he kind of humbles himself. And
Gator fan, if you want the 1.9, go ahead, take it. I can claim it either one. So take that, and I'll take the 1.8 if you want to go straight to it. Yeah, awesome.
2 spots left here. We'll give it
2 more
a
spots.
little time, and then we'll go ahead and start if we don't get enough people.
If you guys are watching and you guys are new to this, maybe you're watching live right now, join the Discord. Maybe Zach can put it on the chat.
It's already pinned in the chat if you want to join the Discord to be a part of this mock.
Join the mock, and then go from there.
So apparently there are some new players in the ADP now. Let's have a look. I mean, there's a couple players that I know I couldn't find
Sky
last
Moore.
time.
Sky Moore is on there.
Yeah, apparently Sky Moore is in here now. Interesting.
Dominic Elderwood is not on here though, unfortunately.
Oh my gosh, Dominic Elderwood, what a meme. We were trying so hard to figure out who that player was. Like, where the hell did he play? Kyle Phillips is in there. All right, 2 spots. You know what? We're just going to start this thing off, okay? Sleepers ADP is going to handle those rookie picks for us. So let's go ahead and get it started. 2 minutes on the clock. Again, if you're listening, we will be pausing the draft here and there just to commentate on the picks. But Doc, you just want to explain that? I'll put it in the sleeper chat so people know as well.
Yeah, exactly. So what we're gonna do is, when these picks go, usually it's a little bit different with our regular drafts. We kind of let it go. We talk about 1 or 2 players that stand out to us, but every single guy it's important here, especially where you grab him. So, we're gonna stop and we're gonna pause and resume the draft, and we're gonna talk about these guys a little bit more in depth. If you guys don't know who these guys are, and understanding if maybe it's a little bit of a reach, or maybe I think he could have fell maybe into the second. So. We'll let that
So
go.
Jack is at the 101. Again, this is a Dynasty rookie only draft. So the 4-round supplemental draft. So we'll see who goes at the 101. I think yesterday it was or 2 days ago it was Treylon, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Treylon. And obviously everything is going to change depending on your team. I don't think there's anyone in this draft that is the consensus 101. It's going to be based on, in my opinion, what you need on your team. So if I'm a quarterback needy team, I might be taking Malik Willis or Kenny Pickett. If I'm a wide receiver needy team and I think that Treylon Burks or Garrett Wilson or whoever, I might be taking them at the 101 and the 102, 103, whatever the case may be. There's no solidified 101.
I think you can make a case for a lot of people for sure.
For sure.
I think you can make a case for a lot of people. For me, there are 3 players that are kind of a tier above everyone else. So I would take those 3 players before I take the quarterbacks, because all 4 of these quarterbacks are unknown of what their outcomes will be in the NFL. So for me, I think I would probably take those top 4. But let's just talk about what's happened. So Burks, Malik, Breece Hall, and Garrett Wilson. None of this really surprises me. I expected this to be the case right now. Malik, maybe some people would have taken Kenny Pickett. What's your flavor at that point? Do you believe in the upside of Malik? Because then maybe that's who you should take. Brees Hall, the clear running back one in the draft, and then Garrett Wilson. You're much higher on Garrett Wilson than I am.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson is my wide receiver one out of
Yeah.
everyone. I think he could be the guy. He's a slot wide receiver. He can play on any team since day one. So
Yeah.
I trust in Garrett Wilson more than I trust in, some people think it may sound crazy, in Treylon Burks. I'm not taking him at the 101, but I believe in Garrett Wilson that much.
Unless like Burks falls dramatically in the draft, I do think he's probably going to be the 101. And then
I do think so
obviously,
as well.
the fits for these quarterbacks are going to determine where they go quite heavily. I have seen Malik not mocked, to Washington a lot, so that could be interesting to see him in Washington. Start a new era with Malik. That could be really, really fun. Brees Hall is going to be a workhorse for sure. Probably second round draft capital in the NFL, and then a lot of people are high on Wilson.
Yeah.
Shout out to the 22 people watching. We're doing a Dynasty rookie only startup. Hopefully this is helpful for a lot of you guys who just started playing Dynasty, and this might be your first year doing these rookie mocks or rookie drafts. And then we see Corral at the 1-5. For me, again, there's a tier gap in these quarterbacks and other talent on the board. So I probably would have gone with a positional player, but I understand the fact that it's SuperFlex. I understand why people would make that Matt Corral pick.
No, yeah, it definitely makes sense. Once again, I think there's one other quarterback above that, and that's Kenny Pickett, in my personal opinion. It goes Kenneth Walker, which makes my choice a lot easier.
Well, let's talk about these last couple picks before you make your pick.
Yeah, look, obviously, it all depends on what your team needs. Obviously, Matt Corral goes. He's currently, I think, my QB 3 or 4, if I'm not mistaken. But Isaiah Spiller, I know a guy that you're not high on, and not that I'm high on him, but I don't think he's deserving to go at the 1.6.
A lot of people are going to be super on the other side of that than us. Me specifically, he's my running back 5 in the class. I understand why some people have him so high. And I'll say this again, because we said it last time, but I'll say it again. I think in this rookie draft, there is more room for good, sound logic of why players should go in certain places than ever before. I don't think there is... You could make a reason for every pick, is what I'm trying to say. So I don't think it's crazy to take Isaiah Spiller there. I just personally wouldn't do it because there's other talents that I liked over him. Same with the Matt Corral pick. I think Kenneth Walker is great value there at the 1.7. Finding those running backs who can handle an elite workload is really difficult to find in Dynasty. So I do expect the top 3 to 4 running backs to probably go in the first round if they land in spots where they can be those workhorse guys. Shout out to everybody who is watching the stream. 25 people. Thanks for showing up. Drop a like if you don't mind. Let's see if we can hit 20 likes on the stream. Let's see if we can do that together. Okay, Badaki, you ready to make your pick?
Yeah, I'm ready to make my pick, and I think, like I've been saying, I think Kenny Pickett is the most ready quarterback in this draft. Wow. If he goes to any of these contending teams, Steelers, Washington football team, or Washington Commanders, and or the Denver Broncos, he has a good supporting cast around him that can help him excel to that next level. He may need 1 year to kind of get his bearings, but I think he is the most ready quarterback, and I love what he can bring to a team, especially my fantasy team.
Okay.
And if Pickett wasn't there, the guy I would have taken was Chris Olave.
Yeah.
He's my wide receiver too. I think that makes sense right there.
Okay. So now we see Olave off the board, Garrett Wilson off the board, Treylon Burks off the board. And, you can definitely make a case for Olave being your wide receiver 2 or 3, depending on how you view these guys in your pre-draft process. So I'm just looking at the players that are off the board. There's not a quarterback here that I really like over the positional talent that's still on the board. A lot of people are going to be sitting here watching and screaming Drake London. I'm just not as high on Drake London. Not exactly the type of wide receiver that I prefer to bet on. I would more prefer on someone who has that elite speed, good route runners, create separation. That's the type of wide receiver that I would like to bet on. And oddly enough, at the 110, my favorite wide receiver in this class is still on the board. I know he's got the ACL injury, but I don't think there's another wide receiver in this class that is as electric as Jameson Williams. I know he was, at Ohio State with Olave and Wilson, but you have to give someone an opportunity. And look what he did with the opportunity.
Yeah, it's so
Probably
hard, man.
Alabama would have won that national championship if Jameson Williams doesn't go down. So for me, I'm going to take my favorite wide receiver in this year's draft and someone who I think I would take him as high as the 1-4, the 1-5. That's how much I believe in him. So I think a lot of people could be getting good steals if they have the roster flexibility to take a chance on Jameson.
Yeah.
By the way, he's going to go later in the drafts, which means he's going to go to a better team. I just wanted to talk about the next couple of draft picks that went off the board there. But Drake London, Jahan Dotson.
You can leave it packed a little bit.
Any thoughts on that?
Look, Drake London, it makes sense. I think Jahan Dotson makes sense. I kind of want to just touch a little bit on Jameson Williams right before you go. Yeah, 110 makes sense. I don't know if I want to still take a chance. I think he will fall to the second round, and maybe you could take a chance on him at maybe 2-4, 2-5, because I do think Drake London, Jahan Dotson, and one other guy, or maybe two other guys, I don't want to say because I don't want to skew the draft. So I think you can get Jameson Williams at another value. Like, for example, right now, would you rather have Jahan Dotson or a George Pickens and hope that maybe
For me, George Pickens.
And hope that Jameson falls to you? You know, what if you had the 1-6 or the 1-7 and then
Well, for
obviously it's
me,
a little bit
Jameson
different.
Williams he's my number one wide receiver in this class, despite the injury.
Right.
He's still my number one wide receiver.
Right.
So for me to get him at the 110, that feels like a massive bargain, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I understand
makes
the
sense.
injury, but we see a lot of players recover from ACL injuries. We've seen a great history of elite wide receivers being able to recover. I mean, the best wide receiver this year, Cooper Kupp, recovered from an ACL injury. So I'm still going to bet on the talent over the situation. That's what I've always done in Dynasty. It's bet on the talent, not the situation. Situation can change. So for me, I'm always going to take Jameson Williams if he's available there. I understand why people love Drake London. I just think there's a chance that he could be a little bit limited with what he can do versus NFL speed. I like Jahan Dotson. Good pick there at the 112. Are we on the same page about Jahan?
Yeah, we're on the same page about Jahan Dotson. And Drake London, well, he's not our favorite, but we understand why he will go there.
Yeah.
We would rather have a different build on our football team, like our favorite team, and on our fantasy team as well.
Yeah. And someone said, imagine him in Kansas City. Seriously. Jameson Williams, if he falls to Kansas City, because people are worried about that ACL, that could be a match made in heaven. Let's go ahead and continue this mock here. So we see David Bell off the board. You and I both like David Bell. You're a little bit higher on him than I am.
Yeah, David Bell I think he is my top 3 top 3. I think he's my third wide receiver. Third or fourth, if I'm not mistaken. I think Treylon Burks is my third. I don't have my rankings up right now, but yeah, I love David Bell, another guy, an Allen Robinson XS player. He can be the workhorse. He can take the workload, and there goes George Pickens right after that. So that makes sense in my opinion. This makes sense. You get 2 workhorse wide receivers, and obviously George Pickens. That's all going to depend on his draft or his combine, excuse me, because he tore his ACL early in the season, so he's going to have to come back. He's going to have to prove that he's the same. He can cut the same. He can do everything the same. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I love the George Pickens there. Honestly, the George Pickens pick. Say that 3 times fast. I love the George Pickens selection. He, in my opinion, would be the wide receiver 1 or 2 in this class if it wasn't for the ACL injury. And I don't want to draft in Dynasty with these rookies and miss out on one of the best talents because of an injury. So I love George Pickens. He's actually in my top 5 rankings. He's my wide receiver 5 at the moment. And honestly, I could continually move him up throughout the offseason. The combine's going to be massive for him. I hope he falls into the second round because it'll be a massive steal for whoever gets him there. So I'm really, really happy with that George Pickens selection. And then Garrett's on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
Hugh says, love to take on Jameson. Easily could be the biggest steal in the draft. I agree. I really, really am in love with Jameson Williams. And then we've got Trey McBride off the board at the 2.3, a guy that you and I both love. We love scouting him. He is absolutely a do-it-all tight end. There's nothing that he can't do from the tight end position. And almost reminds me a little bit of a George Kittle in the blocking game. And Tyler Higbee, Hunter Henry-esque in the air. So he can do a lot of good things for an offense. I think he probably ends up being an early second round pick in the
Yeah,
NFL draft.
I think so as well. And even in rookie drafts, I think people might take the chance on him. I think this board could look a little bit different. Um,
Yeah,
I don't see why somebody wouldn't take the chance if you needed a tight end. You know, if if I arguably have a good wide receiver room already, I have young players in my wide receiver room, and I'm at the 112, 111. Why not take the chance on Trey McBride
totally.
if he goes to the right team? You know, if we know where he goes, then I would be taking a chance on him at the 110, 111, 112
Yeah,
because he is that caliber of a tight end in my opinion.
for sure. No, I get where you're coming from, and I can definitely see the validity in what you're saying.
Mm,
All right, so we see Rachaad White. He is a fourth running back off the board. I love Rachaad White, but I do think there's two other running backs I have higher in my rankings. Now, running backs more than any other position, the landing spot's probably going to matter. You know what I mean? More than any other position. As a wide receiver, you can find yourself into that rotation and be relevant. But as a running back, there's only one spot. There's one spot to be a running back on a team. So landing spots are going to be crucial for these guys. And landing spots should heavily change running backs in these rookie drafts more than any other position by far.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's
Just
very
catching up with the
interesting.
chat, trying
Yeah,
to
I'm
keep up
seeing
with the
here.
chat. Joshua says rookie drafts pick value over anything. I can definitely understand that.
Yeah,
There was some
George.
talk about Etienne. You guys know I love Etienne. There's a video on our channel about Travis Etienne if you
Yeah,
are curious where we stand on him. And then we see Juan Dale Robinson off the board at 2.5. Really exciting player, very explosive. Maybe the best short area explosiveness in the draft. I don't want to be over exaggerating, but he's in the top echelon of this draft in that area.
yeah, he's super talented. This guy. I'm just thinking about my next pick, man. There
There
goes
goes
James
James
Cook,
Cook off the
Darwin's
board.
little brother.
By the way,
Thinking about
guys,
my
if you're
wide
watching this and you
receiver.
haven't dropped a like, show us some love. We're trying to hit 20 likes on this live stream. You could be the reason we get there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us. And drop a sub if you want to keep seeing this kind of content. We just did a Dynasty startup draft. And because we hit a certain amount of likes, I now have to buy a Washington Commanders jersey.
Sorry about that, bro.
It's a meme. So James Cook goes off the board. Again, there's still other running backs I would have taken over James Cook. We'll
Same.
see what ARJ does here. But getting the
We'll
chance
see.
to find a running back, typically, it's a harder position to find good starters. So I understand why people take bigger risks on the running backs.
Yeah, 100%. I love James Cook. We just did a video on him. I do believe he could be the workhorse. Zach sees him a little bit differently.
Yeah.
When scouting him, you can see how Dalvin is kind of like coaching him and saying, you know what, this is what I do. This is what you can do. He didn't get the full workload in college because he was behind Swift. And then another guy named Zamir White, who was a 5-star recruit out of college, and James Cook was only 4. So clearly they're going to go with the 5-star recruit and give him the workload. And then James Cook kind of became that backup. But I mean,
I
he
think
doesn't
it's
have.
possible that he could do that. I think he's more likely a really, really good third down running back. My comp to him was James White.
Yeah,
Think about how the Patriots used James White. That's how I could see James Cook being utilized. And that's still a very valuable player on your team. And you have to keep in mind the running back position as a whole is continually changing and evolving. I mean, that's why we're seeing guys like Rachaad White go this early. I think he could be used similar to Cordell Patterson. So the utilization of these running backs with guys like Patterson, Debo, Eckler, starting to kind of change the way NFL teams look at the running back position. All right, we might get an auto pick here. So there goes
Okay.
Zamir White. Look, that was an auto pick. That is way too early, and we can't make that pick with in a SuperFlex league with the other talent that's still on the board. At least in my opinion. You guys might view Zamir White a little bit differently, but I think that's way too high.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit way too high in my opinion as well, which makes my pick a lot easier. And this guy is my RB2 on my running back in my running back list out of all these running backs, and that's Jerome Ford.
Yeah.
A guy that went to Alabama, wasn't getting the workload. He's like, you know what, I'm going to go somewhere else. He got the workload. He is strong, fast, explosive. He is a workhorse guy, and I think he's extremely undervalued, underlooked, overlooked. So hey, if he goes to the right team with the right opportunity, I think Jerome Ford could be that guy. We just recorded a video on him as well. That should be coming out in the next couple of days. So I like him a lot.
Yeah, we both really, really like Jerome Ford. Hope that his draft stock is high enough. Kyron Williams, I was really hoping that he would fall to me here at the 2.9. Yeah. I love Kyron Williams. We just made a video about him that will release on the channel here in the next coming days. But now that he's off the clock, I mean, look, to be honest, these quarterbacks shouldn't be on the board. In a SuperFlex league, I know I was saying early on that, you know, the talent was greater, but I don't think that these quarterbacks should still be on the board. And Sam Howell and maybe Ritter, you could justify Ritter, but I don't think Sam Howell should still be on the board. So I have to take him here in a SuperFlex perspective. And I don't think these quarterbacks are going to go this late in real drafts. Wow. So now we see the CPU took Ritter and Stoke. Not a player that we are. I was going to say, I don't even think this is even a rookie. Yeah, Sleeper's ADP is a little bit whack still. All right, now Jack's on the clock. Speaking of Sam Howell, I saw him mocked to the Saints today.
Oh, wow.
By PFF. What do you think of that fit for him?
Look, I don't mind it. I'm not running to it purely because it's all going to depend on what this offense looks like. Sean Payton's no longer there. Yeah, you have Michael Thomas, quote unquote, coming back with Alvin Kamara, but I think this team is going to look different. The thought process moving forward with the Saints and the fantasy relevancy, I think maybe we could be straying away from it after Alvin Kamara either leaves or whatever happens with his case. So I'm not someone that's actually really excited having anyone going to the Saints, to be completely honest.
Okay, fair enough. I get that. I get where you're coming from. MP says James Cook can break off some big chunks. Yes, he can. Juxter, yeah, I think Howell, that's a little bit too late for Howell to be on the board as well, but we're all kind of learning, taking guys that we fall in love with. Honestly, I'm not in love with any of the quarterbacks except for Malik this year. So it was hard for me to take Sam Howell at the 210, even though I think it was really, really good value. Do you know what I mean? So that makes it hard when you fall in love with these other positional players. And I just saw some chat about Etienne. I definitely get why people are fading Etienne. I think it's a good time to buy personally, but you guys are able to watch that video we put out on our page, a buy or sell video that we put up about Etienne. I still believe in the talent over the situation.
All right.
We got
another.
David Bell's on the clock. Is Jackie here?
Jack, by the way, where you at?
Let's go. All right, we're gonna go ahead and.
Maybe we should switch up the time now.
We're going to change it to 30 seconds on the clock at this point. All right, 30 seconds on the clock, guys. By the way, this player should not go this high. I don't even think this is a rookie. Yeah, this is not Sleeper's ADP still being whack. Anyway, we got 30 seconds to make a pick. All right, John Mechie off the board.
John Mechie there.
96 receptions, yet we're all still undervaluing him, which I understand why. There goes Sky Moore. You guys know I love Sky Moore. I like that pick. Almost reminds me of Dexter McCluster and Tyler Lockett in one. Sky Moore. I'm really, really interested in him as a prospect. Tolbert. You can see the hype behind Tolbert. It makes sense. I think Sky was someone that I was higher on than Tolbert. Were you higher on Tolbert or Sky?
I was higher on Sky than Tolbert.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Sky, it's only one spot ahead, but I think Sky just has a better opportunity to kind of do something. Justin Ross.
Don't know who this player is, to be honest. All right, Justin Ross off the board. I like Justin Ross. He sneaked into my top 12. Is that right? Yes, he sneaked into my top 12 as a wide receiver. Very fluid player, confident in his movements. I like him after the catch. But obviously the spine injury, there's got to be a lot of question marks.
Yeah, I mean, this
Charbonnet is
very simple.
Charbonnet is not coming out this draft. That's a 2023 pick.
This draft is
Sleeper's
the exact
ADP
same.
is so rough right now.
This was a Zach. I did the same thing in the other draft.
What?
I took Pickett, Ford, and Khalil.
Oh, really?
Khalil Shakir, yeah. And
That's hilarious.
it's funny because like I was trying to switch it up, but these people keep falling to me. So maybe I had to really go a different position here. It goes Brian Roberts.
Brian Robinson goes off the board. I was considering taking him with my next pick. And there's a running back I still like on the board, but I'm going to wait and see if he falls. Am I going to wait and see if he falls? Okay. I'm going to panic pick. Oh, my God. Okay, I got it in. Alec Pierce off the board. I wasn't sure if that was going to work or not, but I like Alec Pierce. Look, Alec Pierce catches everything. Some of the best hands in the class. Not the most natural wide receiver, but he catches everything. And we see Jalen Watermeyer at the 4-2.
Jalen Watermeyer and then Carson Strong. I really like Carson Strong there as well.
Same. Very, very accurate quarterback. I think he threw an interception on 1.3% of his passes, which is crazy. Yeah. Super accurate guy. Not the modern day type that you would want, but still can be very successful in the NFL.
He is the guy. He came into the league in the wrong decade. Best way to put it. He's the Eli Manning, he's the Peyton Manning. He doesn't move in the pocket, but the guy has an arm. Super accurate, doesn't miss anything in my opinion.
I don't really know much about that player, but Tyler Algier is going to be a good 4th round. Let's see what happens type pick. I mean, handled a massive workload at BYU. But a lot of people question whether he can transition to the NFL. Does a lot of things well, doesn't do anything at an elite level necessarily. So, interesting pick. He could definitely find himself into a rotation. And look, at this point in the draft, that's what we're trying to find. We're trying to find guys that can be in a rotation. So now you're up here at the 4.8. Anyone in particular stand out to you?
Yeah, I'm going to take another running back here, and I think I might take Dameon Pierce out of Florida. I really like him. I like what he did. I'm just looking. There we go.
9 seconds here. Dameon Pierce.
Yeah, look, he's I like him. You know, he has decent bursts. He can get the extra 1 or 2 yards, and he runs strong. Yeah, I think that's what I like about him. If he goes to a good, I think I had him mocked going to the Eagles. He can be the Jordan Howard of the Eagles,
right?
You know, so he can go in.
At this point in the draft, you're just trying to find guys that you think can be good role players.
Exactly.
Okay, there's a couple guys on the board here. You know, because we're about to go to an auto draft, the last 2 picks, I just want to tell you guys who I think would be great picks here. Okay, because there's quite a few. Kyle Phillips, out of UCLA, really enjoyed watching his tape. We literally just scouted him yesterday. I think he's going to get higher in people's rankings as the offseason go. Calvin Austin is a really interesting selection here at the end of the 4th round. Super speedy guy. I think he's like 5'6" or something. Almost Rondale Moore-esque, except for probably faster than Rondale. Running backs that interest me here. Tyler Beatty really lights up on film and was a 5-star recruit, if I'm not mistaken. No, sorry, that was Ely. Ely's another interesting guy here. Jerrion Ely out of Ole Miss, 5-star recruit. Both of these running backs are smaller running backs, so they might have to fit into a 3rd down role. But at the end of the 4th round, I mean, you could potentially find a steal there. Some people are high on Zonovan Knight. I'm not high on him personally. Yeah. And then there's a couple tight ends that I wanted to bring to people's attention. Obviously, we see Weidermeyer was off the board as well as Trey McBride. But there's 2 tight ends that I love in particular.
I think one
being
me.
Isaiah Likely.
Yeah.
And then the other is my tight end sleeper of this year's draft, and that is Cole Turner. Is he in here? Yeah. Okay, so Cole Turner.
Yeah, Cole Turner is definitely. You don't like Rucker? I like Rucker a lot. Jeremy Ruckert, I like him.
Yeah, look, I like Ruckert as well. I'll add him to the list. You know, because there's going to be people who might have questions about, well, some of these auto picks that happened. Unfortunately, we can't control that. But
yeah, you got Christian Watson as well, by the way.
Christian Watson's another guy. I mean, how can you deny what you saw on film from Christian Watson?
Yeah, I mean, I think he should be going maybe in the second or third. I think where, Sky Moore, Jalen, maybe before John Mechie, I would be considering taking Christian Watson there before.
Right.
Yeah, I like him a lot better than all those guys.
It's hard to deny the talent that he is. So these are all guys that we really, really like. And honestly, I think all of these players should be drafted. In a 4-round mock, in a 4-round draft. I think all these guys should probably be going to teams. So it'll be interesting to see how the combine and draft shakes things up. But these would be the definition of a deep, deep, deep sleeper type players. All the guys here in this queue. Shout out to everybody watching. Thanks so much for watching. If you can drop a like for us, our goal was to hit 20 likes. So we're at 17. So if you drop a like, you might be able to help us reach that goal. Would mean a lot to us.
Really appreciate it, guys.
But yeah, all these players, check them out. All have interesting upside. And look, let's be honest. I actually have to make a pick here. I just realized I have to make a pick. If I had to choose between all of these guys
I would
on
assume
the board,
it'd be a tight end. That's what I would assume.
I love these tight ends. I could choose any one of them and be happy. For me, it's between Beatty and Watson. I really fell in love with Beatty's tape, but I think I would go Christian Watson. How do you pass up on a guy who's 6'5", super quick?
Well, they have his photo up.
Hands. Yeah, that's definitely not him.
That's definitely not him.
That's definitely not Christian Watson.
It's not him, but they have his 6'5" North Dakota State. He's there. That's the right name and stuff, but just.
Oh my gosh.
Who the hell is that guy?
Who the hell is that guy? Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us. This was our second live stream of the day. If you want to check out a Dynasty startup, we just did that. It's on our page. We are pumping content for you guys.
So
1 to 2 videos every day, the live streams. So thanks for showing the love on the streams. Thanks for showing up, dropping the like. And just being active, being a part of the community. It's always fun to have people who care about the things that we care about. So
yeah, man.
A couple comments here. I think we're talking about Watson. He's going to look like a freak. I agree. Cody says 12 teams, SuperFlex, tight end premium, rebuilding team. Zach Wilson or the 2023 first. Looks like it should be in the top 5. Without looking at it in depth, I would take the 2023 first, but I think 100%. You can get more than just the 2023 first for Zach Wilson at this point.
Yeah.
So maybe
I think so as well.
Maybe I would.
And Juster's right, Stroud or Bryce Young, and I think that's what you had to Bryce Young, not
Stroud,
Bryce Young. Sorry,
Bryce Young, Zach.
That's
Wilson.
what you had to like. That's what you had to kind of consider. I think those guys are going. Those are the quarterbacks that you hope land to you. But if you don't have the 101 or the 102, none of those guys are coming. So I think it needs to be guaranteed 101, 102 before you make that pick. If you want Young, like for example, if I want Young, I'm for sure getting the 101. I'm trying to make every way too, because I think he's going to be the better quarterback than Zach, a better quarterback than Zach Wilson, in my opinion. Potentially, he could be.
Yeah, maybe I'm jumping the gun a little bit. I think Rattler will be in that class as well. I mean, can he bounce back? DJ from Clemson, can he bounce back? So there's still a lot of really impressive quarterback talents. It's just, can they justify the draft pick? So you really have to kind of look at your team. Does Zach Wilson fit your timeline? Do you want to take the risk of where that pick will be? I think you can get more than just that, though, personally. And
you can risk it as well, like if Zach Wilson has a better year this year, maybe you could get multiple picks. That's a bit of a risk, but who knows, All
right, guys. Thanks for joining. So much content coming out in the next 5 days. And honestly, I love it. I love grinding with the content and getting out content for you guys, and it makes it even more worth it when people actually love it. I mean, for 100%. So long on our main channel, we were just putting time and effort into things, but people didn't really interact with it. So it's just been so awesome to see people love the content here on the Dynasty channel. And the redraft channel, we started popping off towards the beginning of last season. But anyway, it's just cool to be a part of a community. So
Yeah,
thanks
awesome.
guys for being a part of it. And
Huge
anything
love.
else?
Nah, huge love. Make sure you join the Discord. We have a cool community there. Patreon.com/FantasylandFam. Best way to support us. And kind of what we're doing here really helps us, continue to maintain doing these videos. And you're not just supporting us, but you're joining a fantasy league with us as well in the community that we have, which is really fun and exciting. You get a bunch of different perks, so check that out. Patreon.com/FantasylandFam. Make sure you like, subscribe. It really helps us out and gets more people to engage, and it reaches more people. So all of y'all really appreciate it.
Yeah. Someone asked, where do you think Carson Strong goes in the NFL draft? I think he could sneak up to the beginning of the third. You know what I mean? I think that's a possibility.
I think it's definitely a possibility. I mean, a lot of people are sleeping on Strong, but he is probably one of the most. His football IQ. His football IQ is incredible, and I think people like that, but they stray away from not being mobile.
He's limited as an athlete for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's what sucks. So and that's not the mold of the NFL right now. So we'll see.
Yeah. All right, guys. Huge love. Drop a like on your way out. We are 2 likes away from our goal. And, I mean, shit, we got content coming out
we have so much.
Constantly. So we'll see you again very soon. Enjoy the rest of your night. And, yeah.